just for the record, this is a working ONNX Edge working group meeting on June 26th. In attendance are Milan, me, Ofer, Saurabh, and Yadong. We don't know if anybody else will join, but based on past attendance, probably not. So, agenda again for this meeting is similar to last couple of weeks, which is review our profile scope and edge definition document, and hopefully finalize it today and approve it for publication, if you wish. And so let me share my screen. Okay, I was just doing some more comments this morning. Sorry, I was probably you saw them. Let me share. Where's the sharing? Share. Okay. You see it?
No.
Oh, sorry. See it now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. What I'm showing is the document we have been reviewing a couple of last weeks. So, so if I revisit maybe the action items from last time, the goal was to really provide extra final comments to this document, and then hopefully at the end of this meeting we decide to publish or not, depending on how we feel about it. Goal is, our statement of work was saying that goal for publishing this is the end of June, so that is pretty much last meeting in June is today. Ofer had an action from last time, I think. I don't know if he managed to do it or not, but I'm gonna ask.
Fortunately, I didn't have the.
Okay. Let me go to. So I think action items here, right? Were about, so we questioned and discussed last time whether this set of attributes is sufficient to describe profiles, and how in Ofer suggested maybe we should test it and define some profile as a test. So okay, if we don't have it, that's fine. My comment was that if something like that occurs when we go to the next step, which is defining the actual profiles, and we find that some dimension, some attribute is missing, or we should have it. My thinking is that we should be okay to go back and make updates to the actual document. I don't think this is cast in stone, whatever we define right now. It could be updated as necessary. I think nobody objects that, right? Is it true, or do we think that what we define today is unchangeable?
I think we can update it, but maybe what we should add, thinking about it now, is to add a version, so that we can say this is, let's say this is version 0.8 or 0.9. And we move it to 1.0 after giving it some time to mature.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's we can do that. Definitely, we could add a version on a document, and maybe make maybe an introduction, a side note saying that this is a document that could change based on developments as we proceed with the further work in based on a statement of work, and that just leave it at that. Okay. So you would, maybe we should add, if I go back. this document, you know, I guess somewhere here we should at the top add the version. Just
Oh, yeah.
just add the version and say, you know, whatever we want to call it, 1.0, and then keep it at that. Okay, sounds good. So this is a document is here. I made some comments this morning. Again, some subtleties, some maybe rewarding. I hope you don't mind, Yedong. You know, in terms of some sentences and chapters. What is left here is, you know, I came to accuracy, and then I was going through the rest of this towards the end. But generally speaking, I would like everybody's input. You know, Saurabh and offers and everybody else. How do we feel about this document? Is it at what we want to have and what we want to publish, and move on, right? I just noticed that in you know, statement of work, for example, we didn't really mention authors, which is, I think, good thing to have. But in statement of work document, we didn't specify authors, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's fine. We can have it here, and I don't have a problem with that. We can, you know, have that as an indication of who was contributing, right? And so how do you want to proceed with this? I'm thinking we can go. I mean, obviously you know, I think we have all read it in one way or the other. One action item for it was also from last time, you know, that we had some drawings.
Yes, I draw the radar chart, but yeah, I think we need to finalize our context first.
Yeah. So I think you were able to access this document?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you know, radar chart you'll have to do it yourself. The other thing you can just copy, I think.
No, that's not a problem.
Yeah. So once if we are to accept this and you know, decide, I mean, I would like to have a final version of a document we can really review, including the drawings and everything, right? Mm-hmm. I think that I don't think we are gonna define today. Where is this? Where is it? Where are we? Here. Sorry. I don't think we are going to add more attributes or anything here. I mean, I think we are set on these 5 attributes right now that we defined, and so I don't think we are going to change it. We can, you know, obviously do some rewarding if necessary, or in terms of what, you know, describing them, but that's okay. So I'm just, why am I kind of questioning today decision? I mean, can we make decision today to accept this document if we don't have a final version with the drawing? So if you are waiting for this discussion, you don't to define, so we kind of say these are the attributes, and you need that to you know, draw the radar chart as an example, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to change the attributes today. I feel like we have discussed these attributes a lot, so I think we could probably leave it at that. I'm wondering what others think.
Maybe what we should do is to have that version. Like, we don't need to wait for the next meeting. We can just do it over over GitHub and over the Gitter, we can just have the updated version, and then people would say that they're fine with it.
Yeah, do acceptance vote over Gitter, right?
There is
Yes.
an issue. I forgot. Do we have an issue that is tied to this specific document?
I don't think so.
What do you mean issue?
An issue in GitHub.
So we can
GitHub, you
create
can
an
open
issue and relate
issues
to
that
this
are discussions.
pull request.
Yeah, so the process-wise, sorry, I think we are overlapping and talking. You know, what were you saying?
So I remember there is a feature for from GitHub, so we can create an issue that relates to this pull request, and we can discuss there.
So one thing is like, this is still not, now this is pull request. I think I'm at the stage, if we are, once we add drawing and maybe address some of the comments I just made, then we should obviously commit the issue and submit and accept, so it shows up in a document. But now this is in the discussion.
Yeah, if you look up, Milan, next to the pull request, we can have an issue, a new issue that just points to this pull request. And
I see what you're saying. Okay, so to continue discussion?
To just point to the pull request and say, if everybody are okay, just reply on this issue and say that you're okay with it.
Yeah, so once we I guess we can do that. That's a good suggestion. I think that once we commit this pull request, it will show up in a discussion material. It should be transcribed into the artifacts, because we said whatever we publish, at least that is what we decided, right? Whatever we publish whatever we publish, it's gonna go to artifacts, right? As a kind of state, kind of plan of record document, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think once we submit this pull request, I think the final document will need to be created and submitted to the Edge artifacts folder, and that includes basically it's move from discussions material to the pull request. So after the end of this meeting, I think what I'm gonna do. Do you want to make one more update, Yedong, in terms of the comments and adding the drawings?
Yeah, sure. I can update just tomorrow.
And then I would go with submitting pull request, and then after that, as to Ofer's point, we can move to the open issue and say, okay, now we are in the phase of approval for this document. And maybe final comments, and once everybody approves and says okay, accept, hopefully then next step would be for somebody, could be you Dong, it could be me, it doesn't matter, to really move the document with the final comments and everything into the artifacts.
No problem. Okay,
so let's do that. I will capture what I just said in the meeting notes for today. So Rob.
Hey, Milan.
Hey, you're a bit quiet this morning.
I've reviewed I have no concerns.
Okay.
Absolutely no concerns. I've reviewed the document, and I even reviewed the ones that you made an hour back.
Yeah. So one thing that I'm gonna also continue with some more comments after we conclude the meeting, and then as we discussed, we're gonna continue through over Gitter, over issues, and so on. and I will identify next steps. One thing that I just want to bring up that I remembered, and it's like, let me pull that. That came from steering committee, really. I think I got this. This was posted by steering committee. And under SIGs, if you notice now, there is similarly to working groups repo, there is a SIGs repo. And this is the place or the SIGs, we said we are going to collaborate with the several SIGs, right? And one of the SIGs that we have to collaborate, we said we should, is in context of quantization, is operations SIG. Now, in meantime, there's a SIGs repo, and you can see operators and converters are two kind of SIGs currently put in place. So structure here is very similar to structure that was started with the working groups repo, and I think lots of logistics really were adopted from whatever we define here on the working edge. ONNX Edge. And so on operators, there's meetings and all that stuff, very similar to what we have, which is great. And so there's some structure all over. And in the best practices for SIGs. A question was asked by these guys in steering committee whether these kind of rules make sense and should they be adopted as a general rules, best practices for working groups as well. And I just replied, I don't see a problem because we're already doing this, right? So from our perspective, it's about meeting notes, about meeting recording, about publishing agenda and so on, right? So just wanted to bring this to your attention so that you're aware of this. The SIGs, if I go back to our statement of work, notice that quantization is now covered by the operator SIG.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is architecture infrastructure SIG, and that is what we would need to work, the SIG we would need to work with in context of compliance. I did get this clarification from Prasant from steering committee. So having said that, there is the actual operator SIG started to be active, and they had their first meeting last 2 weeks ago. You can see there if you tune in on their channel, you will see the action and meeting minutes from the first meeting. Today is a second meeting, and just right after this, I'll try to attend. I have some overlap, but I'll try to attend just because I would like to see what's going on there. And the thing here is, if I go to meeting minutes, one interesting thing that is of interest to us, brought this to my attention and we discussed yesterday, is this. Right? Because this sounds like it could overlap or kind of be correlated to our edge profiles. Because in our discussions, we said a part of the edge profile definition is going to be set of operators. And it would be nice to see how much this aligns, and we don't want to kind of duplicate work, if they are going to be organizing operators into domains that technically mean edge profiles, well, that's definitely clear overlap of our agenda and their agenda. And so that's why I would like to kind of get tuned into it.
So maybe another angle or question to that, if you look at the attendees of this.
Yeah, it's much bigger attendance.
So I don't see anyone from
Huawei
there. So I'm wondering if if you want someone from Huawei to also attend it, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, Saurabh, are you familiar with the people who are attending in this?
Yeah, I know all of them pretty well.
Okay, so we just need to make sure that we are aligned, the people who attend these SIG and working group, so that even if we are not attending the SIG meetings, when they are attending, they are aligned with what we're going to do in the working group.
Yeah, so I think that's why I want to dial in today, just to kind of bring this to their attention if it comes to the point. And basically there is, so next meeting, which is today, they say organize operatives by domain will be on a agenda meeting, today. And so we'll see what happens. And, just have, it's good to everybody be in tune on this. So, through direct interaction with your colleagues at work or not, right?
So Milan, if you want, I can take the AR to circle back in the next meeting and provide an update.
Okay.
That would help.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's great.
That'll be useful. Talk to your folks there, right? In Intel. Okay, yeah. And as I said, I also next time I will have the if also some possible view because of depending on discussion or meeting discussion today. So we'll see. So it sounds good. So next meeting actually for us is going to be. Let me see here. Next meeting is well, it should be now in 2 weeks, and I think that's okay. Like our goal is to define document by July 1st, so we still have a few days, and even if it spills a little bit, that I think that's okay. And so I don't think we need a meeting next week. Plus, next meeting is Wednesday, July 3rd, and that's just the day before July 4th, which is a holiday here in the US. So, attendance may be limited, but doesn't. Even for myself, I'm debating whether should I take a Wednesday off or not. So does that sound good? That we have a next meeting in 2 weeks.
Works for
Yeah,
me.
sounds good for me.
So for the action item for that meeting, I would like them to take this as a exercise, right? Offer would be good.
Are you sharing? I think I just lost the sharing.
Really? Interesting. Yeah, the sharing dropped. Interesting. Why that happened? Okay. Do you see now?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So the next steps would be about the So if we have a meeting in 2 weeks, then I would like to have this as a topic on agenda. To have some test profiles because this is our next step anyway.
Yeah, definitely we'll do that. I'll do that.
And so we have maybe 2 test profiles and kind of have a discussion on the content and format, right? And then we will, once we have these, I think the next time we also should discuss what other edge profiles we should define, and then I would like to divvy up the work, right? Hopefully next meeting we establish some content and format guidelines through these test profiles, and then you can use that as a template, so to speak, right? For other documents, and then we kind of split it in between us and maybe make far faster progress that way. Sounds good?
Good for me.
Okay. Okay. What else? I mean, do we need to spend more time today in this meeting? if you
Either way, you have to drop, unfortunately, in a minute.
so I don't think, I mean, given that what we just discussed, this is annoying that my stop, maybe I clicked stop share just because I'm changing tabs. It seems like I clicked stop share there. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to spend more time here then. We discussed how are we gonna proceed, and Yedong, hopefully today will be able to make updates on the document.
Yeah,
Then
no problem.
these updates are pushed into the PR. I will then go ahead and submit and commit the PR into the repo, and then we'll continue through the issue, discussion in the GitHub to complete and accept the document into artifacts.
Yeah.
Sounds good?
Yep.
Okay. Well, 30 minutes. Okay, well, that was, I think, productive. Thanks.
Just before we go,
Yeah.
I think the next step is for us to define the profiles, right? Like what would go into the profiles?
Yes. So yeah, I was talking about that a little bit before here. Yeah. So next meeting we will have this action item by offer done.
So just to clarify, it's not going to be a fully defined, a high-level detailed definition of profiling, but it's more to the next meeting, just to test that the attributes are working and how to express different types of devices.
Makes sense.
So it's not that I'm going to come up with 2 documents which are very detailed describing 2 profiles.
Yeah, fair point. Actually, so that is what part of the next meeting we could use really maybe to create a sort of a template for the profile definition.
Yeah, that would be great, and then that we can use that template to.
I definitely have to drop. I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks.
See you. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good. Now I'm gonna conclude the meeting and stop recording, and that's about it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.